Metal Gear Survive? More like Metal Gear. We're gonna turn this franchise into a heaping pile of hot dog shit because we're so fucking mad at Kojima for being so good looking and having a cooler friend. And I swear to God, Kojima, you better not do anything too revealing. You signed the contract, Kojima. You're not allowed to talk about how we're essentially a concentration camp for video game developers. Please stop noticing how super evil we are. We just want to make pachinko games, please. So, how's everyone enjoying the latest revenge? I don't know why that made me laugh. So how's everyone enjoying the latest revenge porn shot out by Konami, known only as Metal Gear Survive? Huh? How is it? It's bad? Well, is it as fucking egregious as everyone predicted? Yeah, fuck the rhetorical questions. It's terrible. Everyone hates it. But really, I mean, I can't really understand how Konami thought this was going to be a good idea from the get-go. I mean, first they announced that they're canceling Silent Hills, then Konami had a bad breakup with their hubby for life, Kojima, then they basically made their company into some sort of nightmarish simulation of North Korea. No, seriously, you should read up on how they've been treating their employees since Kojima's departure. Here's some of my favorites. Kojima Productions is now simply known as Number 8 Production Department. The computers in this section are allegedly not connected to the internet and are only able to send internal messages. Employees leaving the company offices during their lunch break are having their absence monitored with time cards. Those who stay out for too long are having their names announced throughout the company. There are cameras in the office corridors that aren't there for security, but rather to monitor the movements of Konami's own employees. One former employee, upon announcing on Facebook that they were leaving Konami and had gotten a new job elsewhere, had their post monitored. Konami staff who liked the post were all reshuffled within the company. Konami game developers who aren't seen as useful are reassigned to jobs as security guards, cleaning staff at the company's fitness clubs, or roles at Apache slot machine factory. This includes not just junior staff, but producers who have worked on well-known game titles. What the fuck is going on over there? I mean, Christ. Konami went through this dramatic shift in focus from game development to pachinko cocksucking, which was the most bizarre thing aside from the trashy way they've treated their employees, because at the time, mobile gaming has been, and still is, the most profitable income for any game developer. Sega, Square Enix, and Capcom have gone through this shift from being super serious about games and instead have been more focused on taking advantage of the mobile market. Not Konami though. Those motherfuckers ramped it up on the scumbag greed meter. Ever since then, Konami has not ceased to disappoint and enrage their consumers, from pachinko machines of beloved franchise to straight up disallowing Kojima from even staring at the Video Game Awards.
As you noticed, Hideo Kojima is not here with us tonight, and I want to tell you a little bit about that.
Konami has been this fascinating, horrible symbolism of what absolute greed looks like within the gaming industry. And by the way, if you're curious as to how well that pachinko machine business has been going for them and hoping that it's been a miserable endeavor, yeah, don't get too happy. It's actually working wonders for them. So imagine everyone's surprise when Konami suddenly got a big boner for the Metal Gear franchise again and decided to make a fucking pachinko machine. I'm just kidding. No, I'm talking about the spin-off game Metal Gear Survive, but the pachinko machine actually happened, which immediately got everyone mad as hell and led to the trailer getting downvoted to the 5th dimension. Understandably so. I fucking mean, you know? So the game's out now, and what's everyone's reaction to it so far? Well, actually, I'm surprised to say that I'm not surprised at all that everyone kind of hates the game. For multiple reasons, both spiritually and physically. You don't need to hear it from my mouth. I haven't played the game at all, but come on. You already know. Although, to be honest, this game is doing so poorly and has gotten so much negative press that I'm kind of leaning on the theory that this game was designed to be bad, like as bad as humanly possible, and to be as controversial as possible. I mean, face it, we're either dealing with a product made by a company who truly believe they can cash in as much as possible from a beloved franchise, knowing people will hate it regardless, or we're dealing with a company that wanted to make a game for the sole excuse of saying, see, nobody wants a new Metal Gear game, we're going back to pachinko. And so they developed a game knowing people will hate it. I kind of believe it's a bit of both, honestly. I mean, Konami's investors can't all be too happy that they no longer develop video games anymore. After all, the gaming industry is a big-ass industry that outweighs even the movie industry. So Konami making this game could be their way of saying, oh, you guys don't really want us to make video games anymore. I mean, just look at this. We tried our hardest. We made a game with zombies. That's what, like, all Westerners really love, and yet this game isn't selling well at all. That surely means nobody cares about the Metal Gear franchise anymore. Let's just forget about the game and let's just try Pachinko. Have you tried out the new Metal Gear Pachinko? It's really cool. It's awesome. People love it. People love it. Have you seen the numbers we're making? We're making a lot of numbers, bigger than 100, bigger than 3 digits. Have you seen this big old number? It means profit. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I kind of also want to think that Konami just won't let Kojima go. Not as in they want him back or anything, but just Kojima must have punched the CEO's baby or pile drive their granddaughter or some shit, because they've gone out of their way to basically make Kojima's life miserable to no avail, really. I sort of see this as Konami getting that final stab into Kojima's heart, the final insult. I mean, how much more insulting can you get from zombie defense game? It went from being a tactical espionage action to mediocre survival defense. They already treat their employees like trash. Who's to say that this wasn't a product made out of Konami just being vindictive? Hell, some of their employees fucking hated working on the game and still miss Kojima, as indicated by the recently discovered Easter egg that says KGB forever, KGP of course meaning Kojima Productions, followed by a jab to the director and producer of the game, though I will be cautious in calling this an Easter egg because this might be a total coincidence, but you know what? Fuck it. It's not a fucking coincidence. How can this be a coincidence? Some disgruntled employees still remember the good old days when Kojima was the mastermind behind it all. This can't be fucking coincidence. No fucking way. I'll watch it be patched and debunked tomorrow or something. That'd be nutty. Also, keep in mind that Konami isn't really stupid for doing this. I'm sure they knew this idea was absurd, but probably crazy enough to work. After all, while the game was in development, survival games were all the rage and still kind of are. People go crazy for them, especially in the Western markets. And you know what else the Westerners love? Zombies. Hate them or love them, people fucking love zombies all the time. I don't know. They're just always profitable. I don't know. Followed by brand recognition, and hey, you got yourself a game that might do well just by controversy alone. And like I said, even if it doesn't do well, I'm sure Konami can still use this as an excuse as to why they don't want to develop AAA titles anymore. So it's a win-win whether the game does well or not. And boy, let me tell you, they had one hell of a contingency plan in case that game didn't turn a profit. And that shit was microtransactions. Yeah, let's milk that franchise till it bleeds, baby. I want to see tears coming out of Kojima's face after we're done with bastardizing his child. I'm sure some of you might be skeptical as to whether or not this is true, but consider this. This game probably didn't cost Konami that much money to make. It was made with the Fox engine, sure, but it probably used a ton of assets from Metal Gear Solid 5 and Ground Zero, so they probably sprinkled a few new things here and there, followed by new dialogue, but not enough to raise the initial budget, and add all that up and you got yourself a game that a fucking modder could have made in their spare time. This game's existence is baffling. But when you really get down to it, it's kind of gross seeing this game alive. It's like Konami forcefully divorced Kojima from his beloved creation just so they could marry his franchise and make a terrible, hideous, deformed baby. Whether you like the game or not, bought it or didn't, face it, you fucking lost.